It's early morning. I had a busy day on the road yesterday. Um, on the way there, you did notice the traffic was fairly busy at certain periods. A lot of people wanted to go to the beach, it seemed. Literally, traffic on the highway was probably a crawl because the traffic on the back highway was very busy, and they were turning off towards the beach, the places where the beaches are. We weren't going to the beach, so we turned off and went on a separate highway towards the country. But um, but it was very busy, and I was like, oh, good thing we're not going to the beach. Lots of people love the beach. But on the roads yesterday, there were quite a few stations to where cups were set up to test breath. Just in case people were drunk, they would charge them and stuff. Wasn't a big deal for our car, but I did think that they were going to pick on how many plants we had in our car, but and and the prospect of visibility, but they didn't pick up on that, so that was really good because our car was like chockers full of plants. Um, but yeah, no, we made it to the country and we put down the plants and did a bit of snipping and stuff. But we're gonna get a ride on mower. When we get that, we're gonna be able to cut back all the long grass and just have short grass. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up. For some reason, I'm like all yesterday and today. The first thing on my mind is this um relationship I had with this guy. I don't know his name, but he virtually looked like someone famous and quite attractive. And um, originally, I can't really remember where I met him. I think I met him at a particular club, and I was fired from it because I wasn't, part of the team in a way. And I think that's where I met him possibly, but I can't really recall because it was so long ago. And all yesterday and today I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, why on earth am I thinking about this guy? Because I did have a sort of relationship, and I did sort of, end up. I think I even, you know, was with him for a short time. Um, Officially, and and the relationship ended. Um, had a messy scene in a restaurant, and it was all sort of really weird. He was probably fairly wealthy. He had a huge place in in this, but he was. People were offended that he was in a relationship with me because I was probably like kind of young. He was probably kind of like quite a bit older and stuff. But yeah, it was an interesting relationship. I don't think I would probably go for it again, but when I was young, I did whatever, and it was one of the things that I did amongst the others. And and I was just sort of, it's just on the top of my mind. And I was like, oh, yesterday I was thinking about, the faint memory that I have because I tend to forget about things after they've come and gone, like if they're not with you. And I definitely didn't take any pictures or, have memories. So I have to rely on my memory, and my memory forgets things as soon as I move off them. But it's still there. It's still there. Like I was having this memory, and I was like, "Ooh, I think I was with this person ages and ages ago." And I think I even had a fairly close relationship with him for a short time. But I just kept on meeting this guy, and he's like part of the community, and or was when I met him, and he's fairly high high level, I guess, in a way. Like you meet him in many places. Probably owns property, probably owns restaurants, and a lot of other things. And he just seems to be there quite a bit. It's like, um, and I rented in Box Hill. I rented in, I think, Clayfield or somewhere weird where I can't remember where it is anymore. And I rented these little cheapy places, and it's like, like I met him in the Box Hill one because I was having a dispute, and he was called to come along and fix everything up, and then I met him. Well, of course I met him in the other one because he sort of helped me find a cheapy rent there. And I rented this cheap property in Malvern East for a short time until it was abandoned because no one really liked me being there, and it was an issue, and they thought it was like a gang related issue there, and they I think the place was dragged down into dust, really. Um, and yeah, and of course, I stayed at his place in. Oh, it was near Kew. It's either called Kew or I think it was called Kew or South Yarra. Yeah. Anyway, and I don't know whether that place is still there or not, but because it was police visited it in the end. Thought it was a little illegal hub or something, but I don't know. um, yeah, no, but yeah, I was just thinking yesterday, like, all day in the car. I was like thinking, oh wait, I've been with this person. Well, oh wait, I think I even like married them for a short time, and I was like, oh wait, I think I actually divorced him, and it was sort of messy, and then it was like, oh wait, I met him after, like, at Box Hill later, and so he's must be okay, and then oh wait, the reason why that it didn't work out was that he was old looking. So stuff like that, and so I was like having all these weird memories, and I was like thinking, why am I thinking about that lately? It's like the first thing I thought about yesterday, and then I was thinking about it in the car, or like out all day, and then I was like thinking about it first thing this morning, and I'm like probably gonna think about it today, I would say, and I was like, oh gee, that was a long time ago, and it's like I've lived like a lot of different lives, and I was dwelling on the fact where like he was trying to get my attention. I was standing like at the tram stop, and I just done like a photo shoot, and he was like trying to get me to notice him, and then I was like pretending like I didn't know him at all, and I think I even had met two friends, and they thought it was sort of mean that I was sort of pretending to not know him. And then he was actually arrested because someone had called the police about him badgering me, who was like young. And, and then he's like, excuse me, like, this isn't just someone, this is like my wife and stuff to the people and the police around. And then it was like, and then he ended up being arrested. So, and oh no, and then I think he was partially arrested, and then I think he was like go, and then those two friends that I was sort of standing with, they said, "Oh, he's kind of hot. We're gonna go run away with him." And so they hopped into his like flash car, and I think it was possibly it was a flash car, and then and they went off together, like to party and would do whatever, and it's like I was like, what? I was like, oh yeah, I only just remember all this stuff, and I was like, it's so long ago, and I was like, just sort of, I don't know, I was just young, and yeah, it was really weird. I would explain it more clearly, but it's such a faint memory in my mind, and I wasn't allowed to take pictures, and I didn't take pictures, and I don't really have anything but my memory. And then I've moved on. I was like, wait, I've married so so, and I've married so so, and I've married so so. So it's like, and you're like thinking, oh, but they're all silly relationships. I mean, I don't even know the guy's name anymore or anything. It's like, yeah. Um, but yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I sort of remember that. I was sort of like half smiling when he's like talking from behind me and stuff, and I was like, um, yeah, I was listening, but I was sort of pretending like I was young and I didn't know him and stuff. It's like different person sort of thing. So yeah, but yeah, but yeah, I only just remember all that stuff. And then I remembered, of course, hanging out with some of his other friends who hung around, and I can't quite remember the scenario. And, I was thinking about, being, it must have been Clayfield or Caulfield. No, not Caulfield, Clayfield. Must have been around Clayfield. They had this little karate studio, and I kept on looking at it, and then someone came out and said, "Hey, why don't you come here? Hey, come here, this is a karate studio and stuff." And it's like, yeah, I was just, looking at it, and it's like, come in, And then they sort of teach you a couple little how to punch a boxing bag or something, and they're like, "So you want to take classes here?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't really know much about karate." And I think I've tried to learn karate like at least twice, and that was like one, but I wasn't very good. I think I got up to competition, and I think someone like just jabbed me in the wrong way, and I think I ended up either just failing or fainting or something. Um, and then that I gave that up really quickly. But I also learned karate um on this place called Chapel Street. There was a little studio, and I kept on looking at it, and I tried to learn karate, but I think that's where they told me not to learn it when I couldn't like do the you know like strong enough. And so I ended up giving it away pretty quick. I also wanted to learn dance, and I kept on making inquiries, but I don't think I ever really did too many dance classes. I think I eventually did a dance class or two with a TAFE. In fact, I think I did a whole 10 of classes No, I don't know how many classes I did, but it didn't work out. But I think they stopped doing those classes, and I only went with a few. I only went to a few. I was like, it was pretty good. Yeah, I was sort of getting into the dance again. But I'm not that great at dance. I'm just really a hobby dancer. I'm not really that great or anything, and I probably shouldn't be dancing at all, but I just sort of wanted to, and I was like, I just found it hard to dance, I think, because I gone through a few failings, and my heart had stopped and started. I had arthritis, and stuff, and I think that studio might have told me. I don't know if they told me to stop or whether the classes just ended, but I think they were stopped. I think the classes ended and we got some money back. And I was like, oh, I was having sort of fun with that. I wish I didn't have arthritis and I didn't have a heart murmur. Then I could actually have fun and do classes. But I stopped because I got arthritis, and then I stopped again because I found it hard to do things with, after my heart had stopped and started. And yeah, so, but I've still done a couple of things, yeah. Anyway, I was having these memories of hanging out with this guy's other friends, like it's like his team or something. It was like had a little beach party that I went to, and it must have been when I was living in some cheap flats, because I don't know where I was really. But anyway, um, yeah, I ended up being picked on, and then the tide came in, and swept away from trouble, really. Yeah, so swam away. I get swept away by a lot of water, even like when I'm traveling. It's like storms come up, water comes in, and I get swept away in a flood. So it's really weird that I get swept away quite a lot in floods. But I survive. I find a place that's dry, and I fight off crocodiles or whatever. And it's like I survive. I even swam. I even experienced a flood when I was in Mexico, and I was wished away. I ended up swimming up the Amazon River, and I had managed to outbeat an anaconda that I had come across. And then I was sort of end up in South America, like in like Chile and stuff. It's so stupid. But yeah. But not many people can swim the Amazon River, and it's like I was just swished away with water, and I ended up in an Amazon River swimming, and then I ended up being helped onto a boat, and then we ended up going to shore, and because people find you. I've even like been dropped in the as part of a modeling gig. I was dropped in the water, sort of close to Tasmania, sort of close to Antarctica. So somewhere in between, some border between Tasmania and Antarctica or something. Not and anyway, I ended up like floating in the water. I tried to swim back to swim closer to Australia. There are things in the water, and this boat ended up coming along and picking us up. And I was like, oh, how on earth do you survive all that stuff? And you're like, so stupid. It's like, it sounds surreal, but it's happened. And it's like, you know, I just have to remember it though, because I don't have any like videos and photographs or anything. So, and then when you say it, it's like, that sounds stupid. And it's like, it is, but it happened, you know? So, Yeah. So unofficially, I think I've been married like 3 times. But they're unofficial because I didn't work out, and I didn't really even hardly, I don't even remember the people's names or anything. I just sort of think, and then I'm like, oh, I think I married that guy. So. But yeah, um, probably shouldn't be proud of it. I mean, it's not like they were real relationships, but yeah, it's sort of there. I sort of remember it's probably on some record somewhere, and people are probably shaking their heads and saying that's ridiculous. But anyway, always room for more, I guess.